All right, so we'll go ahead and begin our second half of our Marketplace Power Hour for this week. As I mentioned, this week we'll be featuring Kerr Consulting once again. However, this week they'll be showcasing their cannabis ERP module within their WorkFlow AnyWare application. Kevin, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Perfect.
Hello.
Go ahead and pull up your presentation and you are good to go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much for joining today's session. Appreciate it. My name is Kevin Deveci. I'm with AnyWare Apps of Kerr Consulting. Also with me today, I have my colleague, Sam Watt. So together we'll be talking about cannabis business application, also known as ERP cannabis. Let me see. Okay, great. So that's the content today. We'll follow basically today's agenda, overview of the application on WorkFlow AnyWare platform, and we'll perform a demonstration. And we'll also talk about available resources, and we'll address your questions. Cannabis is actually a growing industry. I guess you may have some questions at the end, so we'll be happy to address as well. A little bit of information about our company. Let me introduce Kerr Consulting. Kerr Consulting is actually active nationwide. We have more than 2,000 clients available. Also, in addition to nationally, we are also active internationally as well in more than 20 countries. We are based in Houston, offices nationwide available in the US. And AnyWare Apps is a registered trademark of Kerr Consulting. And we'll be starting with WorkFlow AnyWare application introduction in general, what it is, what it does. And then we'll also talk about ERP cannabis application on a high level. We have a lot to cover, so I'll just jump to the subject matter. As we discussed before in previous our sessions, WorkFlow AnyWare is a low-code, no-code digital business process automation platform. So it's basically designed to help you automate your business processes, and you can move your offline or manual works on this platform, working integrated with Sage Intacct ERP system. WorkFlow AnyWare has been in the market since 1998. It's a mature system. It's actually originally designed for enterprise companies, and we introduced it to mid-market as well a couple of years ago. We have more than 500 customers and more than 1 million professional users. So it's a mature system. It has been in the market for a while. It's a modular system. It has workflow module, it has document management module, it has capture and dashboard module. So we can basically utilize all these modules to automate certain business processes. Workflow management module is designed to help you design your business processes. When we think about any business process, there are two pieces of any business process: form and the flow. On the workflow management module, which has a design tool, you can design your forms and you can design your flows based on your company's hierarchy rules, and as well as rules and regulations. It also has many different security features in this digital age, and it is also ready to help you comply with many different compliance requirements. ISO is one of them, HIPAA, FDA, and many other requirements and compliance and regulations that you need to follow or comply. WorkFlow AnyWare will be really helpful for you. Moving forward, as I mentioned earlier, WorkFlow AnyWare is actually an enterprise level system originally. That's how it was born in 1998. That's why we have a lot of reputable brands and companies using this platform. 3M, Ford, as well as United Nations is using this system at the moment. AstraZeneca, Hyundai, Nissan, Renault Alliance, they're all using WorkFlow AnyWare, and there are many other, of course, organizations, institutions, and companies using this system, automating their business processes. So after this high-level overview of the WorkFlow AnyWare platform, let's talk about cannabis business management application built on WorkFlow AnyWare. So what is it? So what it is actually, it's an application. It helps you manage your business processes from seed to sale. So in general, cannabis industry has different layers and different categories. There are growers, there are manufacturers, processors, there are sellers, there are integrated companies basically in the marketplace. So it depends on what you do. and your role in the industry, we introduce these applications accordingly. Today, right now, I'll talk in general. So the information I'll be sharing is going to be in general for different categories and different players in the cannabis industry. As you know, cannabis is commonly actually processed for medical purposes, in addition to recreational. Right now, it is not federally legal, but there are many states actually legalize these this product. So our system is also available to help you comply with different standards statewide, and we'll talk about it in a minute. In addition to helping you managing your business processes, you can also manage your cultivation, production, track and trace, compliance, purchasing, maintenance operations on these applications built on WorkFlow AnyWare. It is web-based, first of all, so you can access from anywhere, from home, from your office. It works on desktop, laptop, smartphones, and tablets. It has also a native mobile application to make it easy for you to run your business processes. Let's talk about features a little bit before we're talking about some other capabilities of the system. So, it has a repository, so you can actually manage all of your operations in one place, integrated with Sage Intacct. Also, you can manage your purchasing, cultivation, as well as you can perform your preventive and predictive management operations. Let's remember the strongest part, the strength of this platform is actually workflow. So underneath, the workflow engine is running, and it is actually very flexible to actually be configured based on your company's priorities. So right now, I may be talking about purchasing, inventory, maybe sound really general, but actually when we implement it for a company, the workflow engine underneath actually helps us design the business processes based on your hierarchy and your business style and your business management system. So that is basically the, I must say, secret sauce of this platform. Moving forward, it also offers track and trace integration capabilities. Actually, even though federally it's not legal, statewide cannabis industry is heavily regulated. And there are many different regulations in the marketplace. And track and trace is actually critical. So companies are constantly being inspected. And track and trace operations is actually very important. So we also digitize that process in terms of taking the clones, for example, taking the packages, and you can actually trace them step by step digitally on these applications. It has a workflow history, also known as Audit Trail, so that you can see who is accessing the system, who is doing what. It's a permission-based system, so you can offer privileges to the users accordingly. It has reminders, notifications, and escalations available to make sure your cannabis operations, business operations are running smoothly. It also has additional security capabilities such as encryption, two-factor authentication, and also it has encryption in the system to help you manage your documents and information in a safe environment in the platform. I also need to mention that it also has metric integration for track and trace. As I mentioned earlier, there are regulations state by state, and some states, they got together and they organize a compliance system, and one of them is called metric. This is the commonly used one in the US. There are a couple of other ones in the US, but metric is the most common one. So cannabis application of WorkFlow AnyWare, also known as ERP cannabis, already integrated with metric. It's already registered. So you can actually track and trace your compliance, your products, cannabis products, and you can also satisfy your compliance requirements with the help of these integration, which makes things much easier. In addition, you can also manage your quality control operations. You can also manage your quality assurance operations. You may need to be compliant with GMP, or maybe I see some cannabis companies compliant with ISO. So you can also run these operations digitally on this application, which actually leads us to corrective actions for continuous improvement. Also, you can manage your maintenance operations. As I mentioned earlier, it is actually a pretty proactive application, and it has preventive and predictive maintenance capabilities. So it has the capabilities to integrate your smart sensors, your PLC devices, for example. So you can be really proactive instead of fixing something when it breaks down, you can actually be proactive to maintain your equipment and machinery to make sure they are running smoothly with no unplanned breakdown. That is actually critical critical feature of this application. Who is it for? Any companies more than 20 employees will enjoy the benefits of this application. Any company in the cannabis industry on paper-based or spreadsheets or other forms of manual environment, we can help them digitize. And this application that we are talking about right now, cannabis management application, is specifically for cannabis industry, regardless of the size of the company. Okay, what is in it for you, the benefits? Well, first of all, naturally, you are running your business operations digitally. So you can always, you'll have control points and you can save time and improve your operations with the help of these digital application. It has, as I mentioned earlier, notifications, reminders, as well as escalations to make sure you are running your businesses on daily basis. One of the challenges that we hear from the company is actually follow-up. Even when you are taking, for example, corrective action, doing your, let's say, cultivation operations or processing cannabis processing operations for medical purposes, let's say, follow-up is a challenge. And the system coming with reminders, notifications, and escalations, so it actually keeps reminding you what needs to be done, what is lagging, and what needs to be done as for next steps, which is very important. You can improve your vendor and customer relations with the help of this application. Also, you can reduce your cost, especially it has also a production capabilities. When you are actually processing cannabis, we are talking about process manufacturing, and you have a recipe that you need to put together. And since you are going to be running this digitally, all your records and moving forward, all your manufacturing operations will be running on this system digitally, which will help you analyze, and you can take next steps to improve your business processes, which will lead you naturally to reduce cost. You can also increase the speed of your operations with the help of this system. You can access it from anywhere. It's a web-based application. As I mentioned earlier, it has strong maintenance capabilities on it, as well as quality management, quality control, and quality assurance capabilities. Let's also separate these two. So in the quality control section of it, you can manage your quality control operations on daily basis. Quality assurance actually dictates your quality management system. Maybe ISO, maybe without ISO, you have a quality management system, QMS in short they call it. So you can run all these in the system digitally with no need of paper. And finally, you can comply with state and FDA regulations. Some companies, of course, it's not federally legal, but some companies follow FDA regulations as well, even though they don't have to. They just have to comply with state regulations, for example. All these compliance requirements can be satisfied on the system. Also, let's remember, soon it is expected to be federally legal, and you'll also have a chance to prepare your company for nationwide operations as well. Now, right now, the challenge is if you are running your operations in Colorado, you cannot just grow the cannabis product and you cannot just transport it to somewhere else in another state, for example. You have to grow it there, process it there, and consume it there in the same state. So if you're going to run your operations in California, you need to start from scratch. You need to have another business operations, and you need to grow there, you need to process it there, you need to sell it there. So when it's federally legal, you'll have a chance to connect all these dots simply. And this actually application is ready for this expansion moving forward. Sales cycle is pretty straightforward. So a Sage Intake refers as a lead, and Care Consulting conducts a discovery call. And this discovery call is really focused on the category of these customers, what this customer is doing, right? Are they basically cultivating? Are they processing cannabis for medical purposes? Are they selling it? Or are we talking about an integrated organization? So that's very critical, in addition to their, of course, their business expectations, requirements, and challenges. And then Care puts together a demo as well as a POC on this application powered by WorkFlow AnyWare. And the close time is typically 4 to 8 weeks. And then implementation time varies, typically a couple of months. Integration model is right now we have a foundational integration model. It is actually what I actually shared with you in previous Power Hour sessions. So the foundational integration with Sage Intacct and WorkFlow AnyWare platform is actually helping the platform have the master data, employees, customers, as well as vendors, items. So these master data are coming from Sage Intacct with the web service APIs automatically. So right now we are reading the Sage Intacct data, and when there is a need, depends on customers' business profile and needs, and we can also send the information back if needed via web service. So the way the client wants, that's how we say it. All right, so great. So I just wanted to share introductory information as to who we are and what this cannabis application is capable of, how this can actually help you improve your cannabis operations in a digital environment. I also talk about its capabilities as to how we can, what it can actually do for you in terms of production, purchasing, track and trace, and so on. One of the compliance requirements, as I mentioned earlier, is called metric. Metric is, as you see, it's a public knowledge, by the way. You can go to metric.com. You can see what states are actually part of it. So this application of ours, it is already integrated with metric system. So track and trace operations actually can be seamlessly automated, and you can digitize it with the help of this integration. So compliance requirements can be satisfied if you are in one of these green states, for example, as stated, as listed, presented on the slide. Okay, great. So before further ado, I'd like to invite my colleague, Sam Watt. Sam is our pre-sales software engineer, and he'll be performing a demonstration on a high level, showing you what ERP cannabis can do, cannabis application of ours on WorkFlow AnyWare platform. And then I'll take back the screen, and then we'll address your questions. Thank you. Sam?
Okay. Thank you, Kevin, for your presentation. And this is Sam of AnyWare Apps team. And thank you for joining today's webinar. And today I will demonstrate you the cannabis management module powered by WorkFlow AnyWare. And as this module is integrated, as a WorkFlow AnyWare, it is integrated with Sage Intacct. So first of all, you can see they can run on the same screen of your web browser, as our system is also web-based. Furthermore, we have the integration and all the information like customer, vendor, stock item. Those are coming from Sage Intacct and fit our system accordingly. And this is the home screen of erpcannabis, which is the cannabis module. And right here, we have different processes that we prepare in this module and for different purposes. So you can see the capability of this system, like you can manage your purchasing and receiving, your accounts payable, or to also like your inventory, your production, like your recipe that you have for your production, and also the cultivation module, which we will focus more today, as this is the first significant processes that we have in this cannabis module for managing all your tech for your plant and also for your package. And as Kevin mentioned in his presentation, by using this system, it's helped you to comply with different regulation of different states with which legalize all the cannabis-related activities. And also there is a very common regulation as metric. So by using this application, it's helped you to keep tracking or make sure all your product and also package are trackable from seed to sales. So right here, we can come to this module as we have ordered our tag. As for all the tag, we should have, we call it an UID, unique identifier. So once we receive the tag that we purchase or order from Metric, then we can record all those tags in our system. So first of all, we can pick and choose the facility and then the license that we have between our company and Metric. And also we can enter the purchase, the order number. And what is the tag type, like it's that for plant or for package, those can be recorded right here. And then we can enter the name, the ID of your tag. And the system can also help you to generate a multiple ID like starting from the position number and then how many tags that we need. And then we can add this into our system. And those tag number will be recorded and generated in this cannabis module. So once it is ready, then we can put this to the workflow. As all the process that we have, there are two sides. One is the form and one is the flow. So based upon your actual operations, for example, once we entering or for receiving this tags, then we can put this into the workflow and get someone approval. So the approver can review and make sure all the information that we enter are correct. So once we enter the tag information, then we can send this and it will be saved in the database. Okay. And also, if you notice, like we have different process and help you to manage these activities step by step. So coming back to the cultivation module, after the first one, the step one, and receiving the tag, then we are going to receive our clones. So the clones can be replanted from seed or we trim it from the mother plant. And for all of those, we can manage it and record it in this module by using this process. Like we can enter the facility and also the license. And then we can enter the batch for this particular clone and the strain, the mother plant, the room that we put it, and the number of the clones, saying now we have 5 of them. And then we can add and record all 5 of them as a record of our clones and then save it. So once we record our tag and then the clone, then we can assign the tag to our plant. As all your plant, like in cannabis industry, you have to make sure they are trackable in order to comply with this regulation and also the standards. So right here, we can starting the tag, and then we can pick and choose the one we just received ending in 900. And then we can assign this particular tag to our clone right here. And then we have 5 of them. And then what is the stage now? Like it's just vegetative. And then we where we store our plant, like the room wedge 1. And then we can add this and assign all the tag in a sequence for all 5 of the clones that we have. And then we can save it, meaning now we connect the tag with our plants. So coming back right here, also we can manage our plants, because for your plants, they can be in different status. For example, they are now as a clone, as a just grow. And then, for example, like now they might be growth and then come to another status like flowering. So we can update it, or now it is ready for harvest. So we can add all the plants and update their status, like for all those 5 that we have in this demo, ending in 900 with the tag number. Then we can update all their status as harvest. So they are ready to be used for different production or transfer from to another location and create our good stuff as the final product. So once we have our they are ready, then we can also make use of this process as for harvest plant, like we are harvesting our plant. And again, we can pick and choose the license and then the strain, the current room. And right here, we can also choose the tag ID, which is the one that we connected to our plant. And also you can enter the wet weight, like by the time we harvest them, and you can change the unit of measurement and also the dry weight and also the waste weight, for example. And then we can add this together and those will be recorded as what we have harvested. And once they are ready, at the final step, we can create the package. So we can pick and choose from our facility and all the record related to this license and also the facility. Those can be labeled with the package tag. again, as for in cannabis industry, we need 2 UID for the plant and also for the package. So they are different in terms of the tag number. And then we are going to put this into the route, and we can pick and choose our harvest plan. And you will see what is the available gram that we harvest, and then what is the amount that we have packed in this package, and then add this into to our system, and it will be recorded. So all this record will be saved in an archive of cannabis management module. And you are more than welcome to manage all the tag and also tracking all your plants by using the available reporting tool that we have in our system. It's come to the end of my demonstration on a high level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. Much appreciated. So, of course, there are many other parts of the ERP cannabis application powered by WorkFlow AnyWare. We just today showed about the part about track and trace for compliance purposes. There are other modules as well as for production, to manage your production operations, to process cannabis for medical purposes, for example, or purchasing management, as well as other business management applications available in the application module by module. And we can always talk about it at a different session. If you can just send us an email, we can schedule time, of course. Moving forward, how do we maximize value? So basically, the integration part with Sage Intake runs with web service APIs. It runs one-way integration. It also has the capabilities to run bi-directional integration with Sage Intake, depends on customers' requirements and depends on the project. And that is actually how we create how we maximize the value, putting together Sage Intake, combining, joining the forces with Sage Intake and WorkFlow AnyWare together to create products, complementing each other. And right now with the cannabis management application, we make it available for cannabis industry. This is our contact information. You may have questions, or you may want to talk about in detail, because we just demonstrated a piece of the entire application to be conscious of the time. So if you like to schedule time, and if you like to talk more about it in terms of cannabis business management operations in a digital environment with our application, please send us an email, and we'll be happy to assist you. Is there any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Are you, what do you guys typically do about a point of sale system integration, or are you connected to any?
We haven't connected any yet, but we have the web service API, so we can connect different point of sale solutions. So we are flexible. Great. So as I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, cannabis industry has different categories, different players. So this application is ready to serve different players in the industry, growers, producers, sellers. They can all use different modules of the application powered on WorkFlow AnyWare platform. And WorkFlow AnyWare platform is a very scalable system. It scales up, it scales down. Originally, as I mentioned earlier, it was born as an enterprise level platform, and we introduced it to mid-market a couple of years ago. So you have a lot of runway when you start using this application on WorkFlow AnyWare, and you can grow with this application, and it'll be really helpful in your operations in a digital environment. Thank you very much. Looking forward to working with you all.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin and Sam. All right, thank you all for attending this week's Power Hour session. Please join us for our next Power Hour session on March 2nd, featuring OSF Digital for the Jira connector and FiSpan for their bank connector. We look forward to seeing you then. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week and stay safe. Cheers.